A towering marble-floored mansion foyer, photographed in cold mid-morning light, an ornate chandelier trembling overhead, crystal pendants swaying and catching fractured light. Wide establishing shot capturing the grand staircase descending into frame, polished surfaces reflecting a blurred figure, the atmosphere tense and hollow, cool blue-white lighting casting long shadows across the floor. A heavy mahogany mansion door slamming shut with violent force, captured mid-motion in dramatic side-angle shot, the doorframe shuddering, dust motes erupting into cold indoor light, dark wood grain detail sharp against the bright exterior glimpsed through a crack, the emotional weight of finality hanging in every particle of disturbed air. A billionaire man in his mid-40s storming down a grand marble staircase, jaw clenched, expensive dark suit jacket open and disheveled, collar loose, eyes blazing with raw grief masked as fury, low-angle shot looking up from the base of the stairs, cold overhead chandelier light catching the angles of his face, fists tight at his sides, the staircase sweeping wide behind him. A sun-dappled backyard garden of a sprawling estate, late-morning golden light filtering through old oak trees, long shadows stretching across manicured grass, a wide cinematic shot capturing the quiet beauty of a wealthy home's exterior, contrasted with wild flowering patches near a wooden sandbox in the corner of the yard. A warm close-up of a young woman in her late 20s kneeling in green grass beside a garden sandbox, dark hair pulled back loosely, white linen shirt sleeves rolled to the elbows, hands brushing sand with gentle care, sunlight catching the fine particles falling from her palms, face calm and present, shallow depth of field blurring the oak trees behind her softly. Two little girls crouched around a lopsided sandcastle in a garden sandbox, the older girl around 8 with determined eyes, and the younger around 5 with wide, trusting ones, both dressed in casual weekend clothes, late morning sunlight warm on their faces, over-the-shoulder cinematic shot capturing their absorbed concentration, colorful plastic flags decorating their crooked creation. A close-up of two small girls freezing mid-play, heads snapping toward an off-screen voice, the older girl's eyes going cautious and alert, the younger one's lips parting in sudden fear, sunlight still warm on their faces, but the mood shifted entirely, shallow depth of field keeping the sandcastle blurred in the foreground, emotional tension visible in every still muscle. Emma, the 5-year-old girl, clutching the arm of the young nanny with both small hands, face turned up in a whisper, eyes wide and glassy with fear, soft natural garden light catching the golden undertones of her skin, the nanny's arms solid and steady in frame, a close-up shot emphasizing the child's desperate grip, the sound of approaching footsteps implied in the tension. Maya, the nanny, rising slowly to her feet in the sunlit garden, brushing sand deliberately from her palms, spine straightening with quiet resolve, positioning herself between the children and the approaching man, medium shot from behind capturing her protective stance, the girls visible behind her knees, golden backlight outlining her silhouette against the green lawn. Grant Whitmore standing at the edge of the garden pavers, fury tightening every muscle of his face, expensive shoes planted wide on stone pavers, pointing toward Maya, afternoon light harsh and unforgiving on his angular features, slight dampness at his collar, eyes burning with misplaced accusation, a wide shot capturing the mansion wall looming behind him like a monument to his pride. A sharp close-up of Grant's jaw tightening, a muscle flickering beneath the skin, eyes briefly dropping before pride seizes them back upward, the afternoon light cutting dramatic shadows across one half of his face, the other half catching warm gold light, crow's feet deepened by tension, the expression of a man whose grief has calcified into blame, cinematic side lighting, shallow focus on his eyes.
Lily, the 8-year-old girl, stepping forward from behind Maya, small chin lifted, trembling visibly but standing firm, hands balled at her sides, grass beneath her sneakers, morning light soft on her face, the vast green lawn and mansion wall creating an overwhelming backdrop behind one small, determined child, low wide-angle shot emphasizing the scale of her courage against everything around her. A stunned silence captured through a wide garden shot, Grant frozen mid-breath, Maya still and watchful, both girls visible in the middle ground, the old oak trees utterly still overhead, golden morning light pouring through the leaves unchanged and indifferent, the emotional aftermath of Lily's words hanging in the air like smoke. A close-up of Grant's jaw tightening, a muscle flickering beneath the skin, eyes briefly dropping before pride seizes them back upward, the late morning light picking out the exhaustion beneath his anger, razor-sharp focus on his face. Maya standing with the two girls huddled close against her sides in the garden, Grant facing them across a stretch of green lawn, the distance between them wide and deliberate, over-the-shoulder cinematic shot from behind Grant capturing the tableau of defiance and love against him, oak tree canopy framing the scene in dappled gold. Emma breaking into tears, small face crumbling, arms reaching outwards toward Maya, hot morning sunlight catching the first tears on her cheeks, close-up emotional shot with shallow depth of field blurring the garden behind her, her little fingers splayed open and desperate, the raw innocence of a child's grief completely unguarded and heartbreaking. Lily staring up at her father in the garden, eyes dry but devastated, a look of adult sorrow on a child's face, the sun behind her creating a soft halo while Grant stands in harder light, medium shot from Maya's perspective capturing the unbreachable space between father and daughter, the sandcastle still visible in the far background. The mansion exterior at dawn the following morning, wide establishing shot, manicured hedges catching blue-gold light early, tall windows glowing faintly from within, the architecture grand and pristine, morning mist drifting low across the lawn, the estate beautiful and entirely empty feeling, a cinematic stillness that feels like held breath. The mansion interior hallway at morning, polished herringbone floors stretching the length of the frame, not a single small shoe out of place, no toys scattered, pale gold light falling through tall windows in long geometric rectangles, extreme wide shot capturing the perfect lifeless elegance of the space, the silence made visible by its stillness.
Grant, sitting alone at an enormous dark wood dining table, a coffee cup untouched in front of him, morning light spilling cool and blue through tall windows, his tie loosened, dark circles carved under his eyes, suit jacket draped crookedly over his chair, medium shot from across the table capturing his small, defeated figure dwarfed by the room's scale. A close-up of Grant's hands wrapped around a coffee cup, knuckles prominent, a slight tremor visible, the ceramic warm-toned against his pale grip. Morning window light soft and diffused behind him, shallow focus keeping everything beyond his hands in a gentle blur, the loneliness of the gesture palpable. Lily sitting across the dining table from her father, staring directly through him with the composed expression of someone who has decided to make themselves invisible to a person they love, 8 years old performing a devastating kind of silence. Natural morning light flat and cold on the table between them, medium shot capturing both figures in the same frame without warmth. Emma at the breakfast table, pushing cereal slowly around her bowl with a spoon, eyes puffy and red-rimmed from crying, small shoulders hunched forward, her free hand clutching a cheap pearl necklace at her throat, soft overcast morning light through the windows making the scene feel muted and gray. Close-up capturing the untouched food and the weight in her tiny posture. A close-up of Emma's hand clutching a small pearl necklace, the cheap plastic pearls catching diffused morning window light, her knuckles pale with pressure, the necklace slightly entangled between her fingers. Shallow depth of field blurring the cereal bowl behind,
the object glowing with the importance a child assigns to something irreplaceable. Marjorie, the housekeeper, in her 60s, leaning slightly toward Grant across the table, silver hair neatly pinned, dark uniform pressed, eyes full of careful honesty, setting a plate down gently as she speaks, morning light warm on her lined face, medium over-the-shoulder shot capturing her dignified concern against the cold grandeur of the dining room. Grant snapping a newspaper shut at the breakfast table, the motion sharp and final, the paper crumpling slightly in his grip, his face flinching even as he tries to maintain authority, morning light catching the sheen of the folded pages, wide shot capturing the girl's reactions in the peripheral blur of the frame. A close-up of Grant's face the moment he mutters, "They'll adjust," to himself, eyes not quite meeting Marjorie's, jaw set against the truth trying to break through, morning light harsh on his cheekbones, the cup of coffee still untouched in the foreground blur, the performance of confidence cracking visibly at the edges. The upstairs hallway of the mansion, soft morning light streaming through a window at the end of the corridor, Emma's sobbing audible but not yet visible, the long carpeted hallway stretching between doors, a sense of vast empty space amplifying a child's grief, wide shot looking down the corridor toward the light source. Emma kneeling on a bedroom rug surrounded by scattered white pearls, her face destroyed by crying, small hands open on the floor as though she'd dropped something she cannot pick back up, morning light pouring in through a large window, the white beads catching the light like scattered tears, a wide emotional shot from the doorway capturing her small figure amid the wreckage. Grant crouching down to Emma's level on the bedroom rug, hands reaching towards her, expensive trousers at the knee on fine carpet, the scattered pearls between them, his face caught between the instinct to fix and the knowledge that he cannot. Medium shot at child's eye level, capturing the emotional distance that money cannot bridge. Emma shoving Grant's hands away, the motion sudden and absolute, her tear-streaked face turning from him, her small arms curled protectively around herself. Afternoon light through the bedroom window casting warm gold that makes the rejection feel even starker. Close-up capturing the moment of contact and refusal. Lily standing in the bedroom doorway, one hand on the frame, watching her father fail to comfort Emma, her expression calm as a verdict, the hallway dark behind her framing her in the doorway light, medium shot capturing her as both witness and judge, the quiet devastation in her stillness more powerful than any outburst. A close-up of Grant's face absorbing the word disappointed from his daughter, the impact landing in the slight collapse of his brow, the tightening at his throat, eyes going inward, afternoon bedroom light catching the moisture beginning to build in his eyes, all the armor of wealth and pride momentarily stripped away. The mansion at night, exterior wide shot, warm amber light glowing from second-floor windows against a deep blue-black sky, the ground silent and perfect, the grandeur of the building now feeling like a cage lit from the inside, stars faint above the roofline, long exposure mood suggesting time standing still inside while the world moves on outside. Lily's bedroom at night, a small circle of flashlight beam on white bedding, Lily sitting upright under blankets fully dressed, jaw set with quiet determination, the surrounding room in deep shadow, only her face and hands illuminated in the intimate light, close-up shot that makes the scene feel both small and enormous. A close-up of a small pink notebook being pulled from underneath a pillow, Lily's careful hands opening it to a blank page, the flashlight beam catching the clean white paper, a pencil in her right hand already poised, the surrounding darkness pressing in close, shallow focus keeping only the notebook and hands sharp. Lily writing "Plan to find Maya" at the top of a notebook page in careful block letters, close-up overhead shot, the flashlight beam steady, her writing deliberate and large, the pink notebook cover visible at the edge of frame, her small determined fingers gripping the pencil with adult seriousness. Emma's voice coming from across the dark bedroom, her small face barely visible above blanket edges in the background blur, eyes catching a glint of flashlight from across the room, the distance between the two beds feeling enormous in the low-key darkness, wide shot capturing both girls in the same frame with the flashlight as the only warmth. Lily climbing onto Emma's bed in the dark, the flashlight clicking off, both girls now silhouetted by faint window moonlight, Lily pulling her sister close with quiet protectiveness, the stuffed animals on the pillow visible behind them, medium shot from the foot of the bed capturing the pure human comfort of the gesture. A close-up of Emma's small face pressed against Lily's shoulder in the dark bedroom, eyes still glistening, mouth slightly open as she listens, the faintest silver moonlight touching the edge of her cheekbone, the rest in deep, warm shadow, the vulnerability of a 5-year-old trusting completely, captured with tender precision. Grant frozen in the hallway outside the half-open bedroom door, one hand raised as if he was about to knock and then stopped himself, his silhouette in the dark corridor lit only by the thin crack of light from the room beyond, a low-angle side shot capturing the man undone, hearing his daughters plan what he should have done. A close-up of Grant's face in the dark hallway outside the girls' room, the thin line of light from the door's edge cutting across his cheek and one eye, the other half of his face in complete shadow, the expression of a man hearing the truth land quietly and irrevocably, the slightest shimmer in his visible eye. Lily back in her own bed with the flashlight on, the pink notebook open again, writing a careful schedule in the small circle of light, her handwriting precise, brow furrowed with concentration, the darkness thick around the tiny scene. Close-up cinematic shot making the planning feel both childish and heroic at once. The mansion dining room at breakfast the next morning, cool blue-gold light through tall windows, all 3 family members at the table, the distance between each place setting enormous, the food largely untouched, wide shot capturing the emotional geography of the room, 3 people sharing space, but not warmth. Grant outside in the backyard garden, sitting alone on wrought iron bench, morning light golden and low across the grass, staring at the collapsed sandcastle in the sandbox, his posture folded inward, suit jacket shed, sleeves rolled, the man reduced by the sight of a small pile of sand, a wide, melancholic shot capturing him small against the garden's expanse. A close-up of the half-collapsed sandcastle in the sandbox, the little toothpick flag with its ribbon scrap still standing in the rubble, the impermanence of something built with joy and abandoned by someone else's decision, shallow focus making it feel like a monument.
Emma running toward Grant on the patio with outstretched arms, small sneakers slapping stone, morning sunlight full on her open, smiling face, the mansion's garden wall behind her, low-angle shot capturing her motion toward her seated father, the emotional softness of a child who forgives before the apology arrives. Grant holding the unwrapped navy tie in both hands, his daughters visible beside him on the bench, his eyes dropping to the fabric with an expression of quiet devastation, soft golden morning garden light on his face, close-up of his hands and the tie with the girls slightly blurred at the edges of frame. Lily sitting close beside Grant on the wrought iron garden bench, close enough to feel the tremor in his knee, her body turned slightly toward him, studying his face with quiet, analytical love, medium shot in warm morning light, capturing the improbable intimacy between a grieving man and his 8-year-old daughter. A close-up of the collapsed sandcastle with the toothpick flag, Grant's blurred reflection visible in a shallow puddle beside the sandbox from the prior night's sprinklers, the flag's ribbon catching a faint morning breeze, the scene deeply still and layered with metaphor, golden morning light low and raking. Grant's face in profile as he says yes, barely audibly, the admission of missing Maya breaking through in the slight collapse of his brow and the moisture at his lower lash line, morning garden light warm on his face, background softly blurred, close-up capturing the moment a proud man finally surrenders to something true. Emma climbing into Grant's lap on the garden bench, her broken pearl necklace clutched in her raised fist like evidence in a courtroom, her face pressed against his chest, his arms slowly closing around her with trembling restraint, medium shot in soft garden light capturing the tentative beginning of repair. Grant's face the moment he nods and says, "Okay, I'm going to find her," the decision landing in his expression like something physical, his eyes going inward and forward at the same time, the garden light warm on his face,
close-up capturing the mixture of resolve and shame in a man choosing correctly too late and trying anyway. Grant tucking the girls into bed later that evening, the bedroom lamplight warm and golden, his movements painfully careful, as though he is handling something he nearly broke. Both girls watching him with quiet eyes above the blanket edge, medium shot from the bedroom doorway capturing the tenderness and the distance still between them. The mansion hallway at night, after lights out, Grant's silhouette moving away from the girl's bedroom door, the crack of light beneath the door still visible, the long corridor dark around him, wide shot capturing his solitary figure walking away, while the light behind him suggests the warmth he cannot yet reach. Lily in bed at night with the flashlight on again, the pink notebook open, writing in careful print the words visible in close-up. Day 5. Dad admitted it, but we know where she is. Her handwriting steady and deliberate, the surrounding darkness absolute outside the flashlight's circle. Emma sitting up in her bed across the dark room, clutching her stuffed bunny, eyes wide and glinting with flashlight reflection, whispering into the dark, her small face framed by tousled hair and shadow. Medium shot capturing both girls in the same dark space, the flashlight beam the only warmth between them. Lily in the dark bedroom whispering a schedule, her fingers tracing invisible points in the air. Emma leaning forward from her pillow to listen, both girls barely visible in the low light. Medium shot from the foot of the beds, capturing the conspiratorial intimacy of two sisters planning something dangerous together. A close-up of the pink notebook open to a hand-drawn map with bus routes, block letters spelling Lakeside Plaza, Central Station, and Eastbrook. Small arrows between them, Lily's pencil still pressed to the page, the flashlight beam making the white paper glow in the surrounding dark. Sunday morning exterior of the Whitmore mansion, wide blue-gold dawn shot, the light still low and pale, dew on the grass catching the early sun, the estate silent and enormous, the sky above streaked with the first warm colors of morning, the beauty of the setting completely indifferent to what is about to happen inside. Lily, already dressed in jeans and sneakers at dawn, sitting on the edge of her bed in the early gray light, shoes tied double-knotted, back straight, hands flat on her thighs, the room around her still dim, close-up medium shot capturing the gravity on a child preparing herself for something that terrifies her. Emma sitting on her bed with her little princess backpack open, carefully placing items inside, whispering their names as she does, her face scrunched with concentration, the pale morning light through the curtains soft and thin, close-up overhead shot capturing the backpack contents, cookies wrapped in napkins, a small water bottle, a stuffed bunny. Marjorie in the mansion entryway in church clothes, a dark coat, small handbag, sensible shoes, calling up the stairs with ordinary warmth, the morning light cool through the front windows, medium shot from the top of the stairs looking down, the girls' voices answering from off-screen. Lily pressing herself to the tall window, watching Marjorie's car disappear down the long driveway, the glass fogging faintly with her breath, morning light turning the garden gold outside, her reflection ghost-like in the pane, close-up side shot capturing the moment she lets herself believe the window is open. The kitchen drawer sliding open, Lily's small hands moving through it quickly, her face tight with tension, morning light through the kitchen window clean and ordinary, close-up of her fingers finding a roll of cash, counting bills with careful speed, the domestic normalcy of the kitchen drawer making the transgression feel enormous. A close-up of a handwritten note being slid beneath a tin in a kitchen drawer, borrowed, will pay it back, Lily and Emma. The handwriting large and careful, the note slightly crooked, the drawer's ordinary contents visible around it, morning light illuminating the moment with quiet documentary clarity. The garden gate of the Whitmore estate swinging closed behind two small girls, wide shot from inside the garden looking out, the gap in the hedge revealing the ordinary street beyond, Lily's hand releasing the latch, both girls stepping into the outside world, the mansion visible behind them through the greenery, light, bright, and indifferent. The bus stop at Lakeside Plaza, late morning, the street alive with weekend movement, engines and voices and music, wide shot capturing the scale of the ordinary world through two children's eyes, Lily and Emma visible as small figures at the edge of frame, the plaza stretching busy and enormous around them. Emma gripping Lily's hand at the bus stop, both girls looking up at the arriving bus, the vehicle enormous from their low perspective, low angle shot from knee height looking up, the bus doors reflecting the morning sky, city noise and exhaust present in every detail of the frame. The bus doors hissing open, a wave of adults pressing forward, Lily's face briefly faltering before steadying with resolve, close-up capturing the precise moment courage almost fails and then holds, the crowd blurred in motion behind her, her jaw setting with quiet finality. Lily speaking to the bus driver, chin lifted, forcing her voice older than it is, the driver's tired face in the driver's seat above her, morning light through the windshield illuminating the unequal exchange, over-the-shoulder shot from behind Lily looking up at the driver's skeptical frown. The driver's face leaning down toward Lily, gray stubble, tired eyes narrowing with concern that doesn't quite override routine, soft interior bus light on his face, close-up capturing the moment he makes the decision to let them on, the weight of his choice visible in the slight softening around his eyes. Lily and Emma in the first row of the bus, seatbelts on, Emma pressed against the window, the city beginning to move past outside, the bus interior slightly shabby with worn seats and fluorescent light, wide shot from the aisle capturing both girls framed against the changing street outside. The city street outside the bus window, neighborhoods shifting from wide, clean roads lined with expensive storefronts to narrower, busier blocks, the transition gradual and undeniable, medium shot through the smudged glass, the reflection of Emma's face superimposed over the changing world outside. Emma with her forehead pressed to the bus window, eyes wide and absorbing the unfamiliar streets, every sudden stop making her flinch, the interior light catching the glass between her face and the city, close-up profile shot capturing a 5-year-old encountering the world beyond her gate for the first time.
Central Station exterior, wide establishing shot, buses groaning in and out, exhaust rising in the morning light, vendors shouting, pedestrians moving fast and purposeful, the scale of it enormous and chaotic. Lily and Emma visible as tiny figures stepping off the bus into the edge of the frame. Lily gripping Emma's wrist now instead of her hand, both girls navigating the chaos of Central Station, tall adults moving around them like a current. Close-up, medium shot at the girl's eye level, capturing the crowd's legs and coats pressing close, Lily's face forward and determined, Emma's eyes darting. A woman with grocery bags pausing to point with a chin in the direction of the Eastbrook bus, her face briefly kind. Lily and Emma looking where she points, the station noise surrounding the small moment of grace, medium shot capturing the fleeting human connection against the rushing crowd. The interior of the older bus to Eastbrook, seats worn and cracked, windows filmed with age, the light warmer and more golden inside. Lily and Emma settled near the front, the bus beginning to move. Wide medium shot capturing the girls in their seats as the world outside the window begins to change again. The view through the Eastbrook bus window, the city transforming into something different, houses closer together, paint peeling, children playing near the curb, music from open windows, late morning light warm on everything. Medium cinematic shot through the glass, capturing the living texture of a neighborhood that doesn't perform for anyone. Emma pressing her forehead to the window of the second bus, whispering, "Maya comes here every day," her breath fogging the glass, afternoon light golden through the window warming her face, close-up profile capturing the wonder and tenderness in a 5-year-old connecting a real person to a real place.
The Golden Grain Bakery exterior, a small storefront glowing warm amber in the mid-morning light, the smell implied in the steam curling from a vent above the door, hand-painted signage above the window, Lily and Emma standing on the sidewalk across the street with shaky legs, wide shot capturing the bakery as a small miracle of warmth on a real street. Lily approaching the bakery counter, speaking to a large man dusted with flour behind the glass case, her hands still polite. The bakery interior warm with golden light and the glow of display cases. Medium shot at counter height, capturing the exchange between the child and the man whose face immediately softens. The baker's face in close-up as he softens at the mention of Maya's name, flour on his cheek, eyes warm with recognition and care. Bakery light golden and close, shallow depth of field blurring the pastries behind him, the expression of someone who has watched a good person struggle and was glad to be kind. A narrow residential street in Eastbrook, houses close on either side, late morning light falling at an angle that makes the pavement glow, a green door visible 3 blocks down at the end of a quiet stretch, wide shot looking down the street, capturing the distance between the girls and the door as the final leg of something enormous. Lily's hand hovering an inch from the green door, close-up of her knuckles about to make contact and then pausing, the paint slightly weathered and chipped at the edges, midday light catching the grain of the wood, her hand completely steady in the frame even as everything in the surrounding story trembles. Emma leaning toward the door and blurting Maya's name, her face urgent and bright with hope and fear at once, close-up capturing the split second between calling out and the silence that follows, the green door's surface filling the background, her breath visible in the slight chill of the shaded porch, the green door swinging wide open, light from inside the apartment warm against the cooler porch, Maya filling the frame in a plain t-shirt and worn jeans, her eyes swollen and her hair loose, the shock of seeing the girls visible in every feature of her face simultaneously, dramatic medium shot from outside looking in. A close-up of Maya's face the moment she sees Lily and Emma, her expression cracking open through shock into joy, into pain, swollen lashes, unguarded emotion, apartment light warm behind her and porch light cooler on her face, the kind of expression that cannot be performed, only experienced. Maya saying, "My babies," in barely a whisper, arms opening as the girls launch themselves into her, the impact of their small bodies making her stumble back against the doorframe. Wide medium shot capturing the collision of the embrace, the green door framing the scene, midday street light behind the girls, and warm apartment light around Maya. The apartment interior of Maya's home, small and clean and lived in, a faded couch with a knit throw, family photographs on the wall, afternoon light through a small window, a tiny table with a bottle of pills and a half-full glass of water visible in the background, wide shot capturing the intimate, real warmth of a life without money but full of care. Maya's mother, Rosa, emerging from the back room with a cane, her frame frail and her eyes bright, a housecoat and slippers, silver hair loose, afternoon light from the window touching her face with warmth, wide shot capturing her slow movement into the room and the girls turning to see her for the first time. A close-up of Rosa's eyes filling with tears at the sight of the girls, the kindness in them identical to Maya's, fine lines deepened by the emotion, warm apartment light on her face, the expression of a woman hearing that her daughter's love has been returned from an unexpected direction. Emma walking directly up to Rosa with fearless 5-year-old confidence, looking up at her with round, earnest eyes, the size difference enormous, afternoon light warm on both their faces, medio shot capturing the instinctive human connection between a very small girl and a very old woman, no hesitation between them. Lily facing Maya directly, her voice firm and clear. "You didn't do anything wrong." The afternoon apartment light behind her, Maya's face in soft focus in the foreground, medium over-the-shoulder shot capturing the 8-year-old delivering a verdict that the adult has been waiting days. The moment Lily explains about the overheard conversation, her voice dropping to a careful whisper, Maya going completely still, the apartment quiet around them, afternoon light unchanged and steady, close-up alternating between Lily's steady face and Maya's stunned one, the truth settling into the room like something physical. Emma lifting her chin to admit that Lily and I were the ones who overheard behind the couch, her expression a perfect mixture of guilt and bravery. Maya's hands coming up to cover her mouth in the background, the afternoon apartment light capturing the weight of a small confession with enormous consequences. Maya reaching for the old wall phone with trembling hands, the apartment quiet, all four of them frozen in the pause before contact. Afternoon light unchanged and steady. Medium shot capturing the phone in the foreground and Maya's expression of dread and necessity behind it. The moment before everything changes. Maya holding the receiver to her ear, phone on speaker, her face arranged in careful control as Grant's broken voice pours through the line. The apartment small around her, afternoon light warm on the walls, the girls visible nearby, wide medium shot capturing all four people listening to a man finally undone. Lily leaning toward the phone with her hand on Maya's arm, her voice steady as she tells her father, "Don't call the police, we're safe." The afternoon apartment light golden and close, Maya's face beside her. Close-up over the shoulder capturing the child taking control of the narrative with absolute composure. The green door of Maya's apartment from the street, midday light now edging toward afternoon gold. The door closed against the world, the street around it ordinary and quiet. Wide shot from across the narrow road, capturing the unremarkable exterior of the place where something irreversible and true has just happened.